A woman once saved a ruler's life. She risked her future for love. She defied her own blood. But what if the person you saved became the reason your life fell apart? What if love didn't protect you but erased you? Years later, when that same man rose to power over the land, she was no longer cherished. She was no longer chosen. She became a bargaining piece in a political struggle she never asked to enter. Today, we uncover the forgotten story of Eliana, daughter of Governor Theros and first wife of King Ravel. This is a story preserved in the ancient chronicles of the Northern Kingdom, a story that reveals how love can inspire courage, how power can erode loyalty, and how unresolved wounds can distort our relationship with the divine. The records devote many passages to this account, yet there is one final detail many overlook. After a decisive confrontation between Eliana and Ravel, something irreversible occurred. A consequence followed her for the rest of her days, and this consequence still speaks quietly, painfully to us today. What happened between the night Eliana saved a man's life and the day she publicly confronted him? Why did a woman who once loved deeply grow to resent completely? And what price did she ultimately pay? Stay with this story until the end, because this isn't just ancient history. It's a mirror. This story doesn't begin with betrayal. It begins with love, pure enough to become dangerous. Eliana's story begins during the final years of Governor Theros' rule over the highlands of Kareth. At that time, a young warrior named Ravel rose rapidly in prominence. He was not born into power. He came from a modest clan, raised among shepherds and stonecutters. But courage followed him. When Ravel defeated the feared warlord of the eastern plains, songs spread through the villages. Theros secured the borders, but Ravel crushed the enemy. Those songs reached the palace, and that is when something unexpected happened. The chronicles state plainly, Eliana, daughter of Theros, gave her heart to Ravel. Before she was forgotten, she was chosen. Ravel was no prince, no heir, yet his integrity stirred something deep within her. But love was growing in a place ruled by fear. The more the people admired Ravel, the more threatened Theros felt. The chronicler writes, the favor of the divine rested upon Ravel, and Theros perceived it had departed from him. When Theros learned of Eliana's affection, he did not see romance. He saw leverage. This marriage was never meant to bless. It was meant to destroy. Theros proposed a condition. He required no gold, no land, only a deed of loyalty, proof of victory over 100 raiders from the eastern wastes. The dowry wasn't a gift. It was a death sentence. Ravel accepted without protest. Torches burned along the palace walls that night. Eliana watched in silence. She felt it. Something was wrong. The eastern wastes were lawless, hostile, deadly. Theros expected Ravel to die there, but Ravel returned, not only alive but triumphant. He brought double the proof demanded. Bound by his word, Theros had no choice. Eliana was given to Ravel as his wife. But victory did not bring peace. Instead, fear deepened, and fear soon turned violent. Before dawn, soldiers surrounded Ravel's home. Their orders were clear: kill him before sunrise. Eliana discovered the plot. She urged Ravel to flee. She lowered him through a rear window. She staged a deception that bought him time. She saved his life that night, but no one saved hers. When Theros confronted her, Eliana lied to survive. But her choice was already made. Ravel escaped. He lived, and Eliana was left behind. There is no record of Ravel returning for her. No message, no rescue. Some acts of love don't bring gratitude. They bring abandonment. Years passed. Ravel lived as a fugitive, gathering followers. Eliana remained forgotten. Then came another blow. Theros gave her to another man, Merrick of Lothan. She was not consulted. She was transferred. Meanwhile, Ravel built new alliances, new marriages, a new future. Scripture goes silent about Eliana, and sometimes silence is the loudest suffering. After Theros fell, Ravel's power grew. Then he made a demand. I will not meet unless Eliana is returned to me the wife I earned. Years later, the man she saved remembered her, not as a wife, but as a strategy. Eliana was taken. Her second husband followed her, weeping until ordered to turn back. When she arrived at the palace, she found no reunion, no conversation, no tenderness. She wasn't welcomed. She was reclaimed. During a sacred procession, Ravel removed his royal garments and danced before the divine. The city rejoiced, but Eliana watched from a window. The chronicles say contempt filled her heart. What happens when worship reminds you of everything you lost? Years of abandonment, years of being used, years of silence. She did not see devotion. She saw humiliation. When Ravel returned home joyful, Eliana confronted him. How dignified the ruler appeared today, she said with scorn. Her words cut deeply. Ravel answered calmly, I danced before the one who chose me, and I will humble myself even more. Her contempt wasn't just toward a man. It was toward a moment she could no longer enter. After this moment, Eliana speaks only once more in Scripture, not with words, but with silence. The chronicle ends her story with a single line. Eliana bore no children until the day of her death. No explanation, no commentary. The Bible doesn't curse her. It simply stops remembering her. Eliana is not a villain. She loved. She sacrificed. She was wounded. But when pain hardened into contempt, she lost the ability to recognize sacred moments. This story asks us uncomfortable questions. How often do past wounds poison present worship? How often do we criticize what we can no longer emotionally touch? How often do we protect pride instead of pursuing healing? This story isn't really about Eliana. It's about what pain can do to worship. Your wounds are real. Your pain is valid. But do not let what hurt you yesterday decide how you worship today. Choose humility. Choose healing. Choose God over resentment. And may your story not end in silence.